Hello and welcome, my name is Larkin, or you can call me Archie, and this is my concise guide for Melty Blood Actress Again current code. This guide is already under the assumption that you know fighting game fundamentals, just so I can make it as brief as possible. Melty Blood is a 4-button fighter, similar to games like Tekken, however there are additional buttons you can map for ease of use. The notations follow the same rules as a typical anime fighter, as seen here. So in this instance, a quarter circle forward light attack would be labelled as 236A. For simplicity's sake, I'm going to exclude anything from this video that isn't these 4 buttons, but feel free in the future to make use of the game's shortcut commands. Before you start picking a character, I'd recommend running through the mechanics very briefly just so you get a feel of the game. A lot of the information I'm going to be referencing in this video is from the Mizumi wiki, which is a brilliantly put together source of information, breaking down both mechanics and character specific moves in great detail. If you're struggling with something or finding it hard to pick a character, make sure you check out this site. Excellent. Let's begin. Upon picking a character, you'll notice there's 3 options presented to you. These dictate the playstyle that the character follows, and while the characters may seem similar at first, it's usually that a large majority of their moveset changes between each moon, along with their strategy and playstyle, making each character's moon type essentially a different character. To put it simply, Crescent Moon is the game's all-rounder. Think of this playstyle as sort of like Street Fighter. Half Moon is low damage but high combo potential. It's very glass cannon-y and loses a lot of ability to control their meter. This style is closest to a game like Under Night. And finally, Full Moon. There's a few mechanics lacking from the previous 2 moon types. This style lacks a lot of combo potential, but it hits like a truck. Think of this style as similar to Guilty Gear. On the screen now you can see a concise table of contents for the changes between each moon style from Mizumi's website. If you follow the link in the description, you can find more in-depth details about each style below. Excellent. Now that we're in game, we can begin analysing what we can see on the screen. At the centre is of course the timer, character portraits, the character names, and the colour that you've picked. Just beneath that is the moon style you've selected. Just for the purpose of this video, I've selected Crescent on both characters. Before I get into the guard meter, I should probably mention this button right here. Of course, A, B, and C indicate light, medium, and heavy attacks respectively. But this is the best button in the game, the shield button. There's a few things you can do with this button, and of course, to make it more complicated, it changes with each moon type. The general gist is if you tap and hold it and block an incoming attack with your shield, it gives you a massive step up from the opponent. 214D is this game's reversal, and can help you get out of block strings. It does use some of your meter though if you're in a block string. And shield in the air, on the ground, or whilst crouched, and tapping D rather than holding it performs an EX shield, which is essentially this game's parry. As you might have noticed when I was whiffing those shields, each whiff lowers the quality of the guard meter, which is indicated by the colour. The more damage you do to a blocking opponent, the more their guard meter drops, and that drop is increased even more if the quality of their guard meter is lower. Both the quality and the amount of guard meter remaining can be recovered over time, and of course if your guard is broken, then you're susceptible to huge damage. Just quickly, I'm going to run through a few more mechanics before we finally get onto the magic circuit. These mechanics and their uses change a lot between each moon type, so just refer to that table in case you want to know. A dodge can be performed by inputting 2 AB. The term you'll hear a lot is reverse beat. This is essentially just comboing downwards. So for example, 2C goes into 2B into 2A. Grabbing is performed by inputting A plus D and beats most defensive options including crouching. You can tech these by simultaneously pressing A plus D. It's a small window but it's completely reactable. Pressure in this game is usually done by mixing up strings, approaching with 2 A's fishing for a combo, and either dashing in or performing a special on pushback. If you mix these up with grabs you'll be fine in no time. Okay, and finally, just to wrap things up, magic circuit. It's this game's meter. It varies wildly between each moon, so to keep this nice and short I'm just going to be referring to Crescent Moon, but please do refer to that table if you're interested in playing the other moon types. For Crescent Moon, once you reach over 100%, you can press A, B and C together to enter heat mode. This slowly depletes the bar, but in turn you gain access to a new super move. Your already existing super moves cost less meter, and you're able to recover red health. Alternatively, once your magic circuit bar is full, you'll enter max mode, which is essentially the same thing, although you just don't recover red health. One more thing you do get in max mode, however, is the access to Circuit Spark. Press A, B and C together and it's essentially the same as Guilty Gear, except it's unblockable and saps away the rest of your meter. Activating heat while it's in max mode puts you into blood heat mode, which is kind of a combination of the two. Think of it as a more amped up version of both though. You regain red health a little bit faster, and you get access to an additional super move. The downside to popping blood heat is that unlike max mode, once you finish you don't recover some of your meter, come out of it with 0, so it's a very high risk, high reward move. Like I said earlier, there are a lot of differences between the different moon types regarding this bar. For example, Half Moon automatically pops heat once it reaches 200%, and Full Moon gets access to a mechanic called Circuit Charge, which is basically key charging. But I'll leave that up to you to go research on your own. This video covers all the essential mechanics you'll need to play the game, I would say. If you've got any more questions, please feel free to DM me on Discord. I hope you enjoy this game, and I hope you have fun with whoever you pick. Thanks. Bye bye.